Alright guys, we've done the password reset feature now. There's a fair bit involved, so we'll just quickly breeze over it and we'll talk about some gotchas along the way. So my thought process on this was you're not going to need to reset your password straight away, but on a failed attempt to log in, so if I try to log in, it'll come back saying, hey, it's incorrect, and now I should have the ability to reset my password. I don't think you should be coming and trying to reset your password straight away. So we can click on reset password. That sends off an email to our email that was set in our username field. And we just get a nice little prompt to say, hey, it's been sent. I can go check my inbox and it's already here now. I'll just open up, bring it over here for you guys to see. So we've received this from email.js. You can basically customize their templates. They have a bunch of templates. You can put in your own variables. It's a really quick and easy way to mock up something. You can use Node Mailer if you want, or other things like that, but I found this is just the easiest to do. So we've pushed in our link with our user ID and tokens in here. And so now I can click on the link, and that will bring us through to our React site again, and we've put in a router that accepts for a reset password and our ID and tokens. So now again we can put in our password, make sure it matches our thing, and we get the reset password available, and then it's now successful because we've been pushed back to our login page, and then now I can use that new password to log in. So, what is happening? Goodness gracious, there's a lot happening. So let's dive in. We'll start from the server side. So basically, we have an initial send reset email API that we're doing. So that's that when you click on that reset API button, reset password button. We're looking up the database to check that the guy actually exists in the database. If not, we'll turn back a false. Oop, I need to change that to a 200, otherwise our client side won't be happy. We will also be looking up if they have a token. If they don't have a token, we're creating a token. And our token is, we've created a new module for mongoose, which is we're just creating a schema for tokens for mongoose, and then we import that into our server file, and then we're calling on those here to find it. If not, create it, and we're using crypto, and then we're just saying, hey, slap it to a string and save. We are then creating our reset link here. So we'll change localhost to the environment base URL when we go to do it on production. The reason why we couldn't use base URL now is because it's going to give us localhost 5000, not localhost 3000, because we want to redirect back to React, not to our server. And then we're just passing through the user ID and token here. Then this is for email.js stuff. So we're setting up our service ID, template ID, user ID, the custom variables that are inside of our template, and our private access token from our API that we can send. And then we're just sending it through to their API endpoint here, and then they will respond with a text OK 200. And then that is the end of our initial send email API. So check out email.js. It's very easy to use. You can use any old Gmail account to log in with and set up, and then configure it with those guys. So once you receive that email, we're clicking that link, and then we're getting taken to that reset password screen. That then calls onto this API, and basically this is expecting a user ID and a token in this format, and then we're then using, hey, the parameters look up users that it actually exists in the DB, check that the token exists in the DB. If it doesn't exist, send back, hey, there's no token, so we're sending back a false, and then from the client side we're saying, hey, that token doesn't exist. And then if all that passes, well, then we're saying set password to the password that the user's confirmed. And then we're then saving it to the DB to make it persistent. And then we're deleting out our token that we had for this reset time round. So from React side, Jesus, there's a lot going on. We have created in the register page the button, and basically we are calling on a child component or module, if you will, and we're also using props data to pass down the username from our form, and then we've got some AND logic on it to keep it hidden until that initial login failure. So when that first login failure happens, we're saying, hey, set it to false, so then that way you can see that reset button appear. So our reset button JS, it's just a simple fetch that we're sending through to that API endpoint. We're handling true or false on the results, and that's where we're getting those different prompts here. And then we're just setting those prompts down here in our return here, and then this is our button click here as well. So when we get redirected to that URL, so if I just bring that back up, so this page here, right? This is in our ResetPassword JS. Now we're using the password checklist again. We're using navigate because we're forcing the client to go back to the register page. We're doing a path segments, so we're saying, hey, get the URL. We're splitting it down, and then we're saying the path segment at array index 2 will probably be the user ID because that's the way we've done it, and then at index 3 will be the token. And that's just, if you look into our URL, that's this part here, right? So this is number 2 in our array, and then number 3 here. So this 1, so this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and then that's how we're segmenting out our URL. Then we're basically saying we're calling on the API here. I've had to create the API URL here for some God knows reasons why. I don't know what it is. I think it's an ESLint issue or something. It doesn't let you $ variables inside of a string. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the file extension being only .js. It doesn't like it. Maybe I need to change it. So I've had to do a quick workaround on just concatenating the string like we did in the old days. And then, yeah, we're pushing that through our fetch here. So that would look like you've got the / user ID / token, and then that on our server side, that's this here, right? So that's what we're doing. We're building that string and then passing it through here. So then we're handling, if it's true, navigate back to the login page. If it's false, tell them that, hey, the session has expired, or there's probably no user in the database for that as well. But you wouldn't have got to this stage if there was no user, so it's safe to say, hey, the only false condition we're going to get to is that your token expired. And then this is just us rendering out that form that we're doing. So that's kind of the components to do the reset password. So, long story short, you've got the APIs on the server side saying, hey, we want to initially send out the email. We want to also create that token. So this could actually probably get put into its own module, and then we could call on this in its own module as well. But anyways, and then the second phase is receiving from that page the user ID and tokens, and then finding that person through those tokens and then changing it. This method means that the only way that someone's updating their password is if they actually still have access to their email account. I mean, you could probably use like MFA and stuff like that as well, but this is just a very simple, easy way of doing it. And it was a great thing to test using email.js. So thanks, guys. I think that's pretty much going to be it. I think from here, I'm probably going to just put it onto production, and we'll go from there. I think that's probably what we'll start doing.